Hi, I'm Liz Larson. Welcome back to the Art of Frosting. Today I'm back with some cake decorating basics. I want to show you how to make this grown-up Valentine's Day cake pop. It's grown up because it has liqueurs in it. So it's a little fancier. I'm going to show you how to do some of these little decorations and how to get this variegated color. Let's get started. We're starting with some leftover red velvet cupcakes. For cake pops, the leftover stuff is really the better. It's a little bit drier and it's a little bit more workable. It crumbles a little better. So we're starting with that. We're going to add a little bit of Kahlua. So for these cake pops, we are making what's called a raspberry mudslide. You want to add maybe about a teaspoon of Chambord. Now if you want to put this all in a shot glass before you put it in, you can, so you get equal amounts. Chambord is a raspberry liqueur. And some Baileys. So in drink form, this would be called a raspberry mudslide. Okay, and then we want to add to that some melted chocolate chips. This is the chocolate part of the raspberry mudslide. And you want to add maybe about a half a cup of chocolate to that. And then you want to get that on the mixer right away. You want to put it on the lowest speed to start. And just let it blend, kind of starting and stopping. You don't want it to be too much of a meal. You want it to be more of a paste. That's about the consistency you want. You can see it's pretty soft. This is going to make a filling that's more like a truffle and a little less like a cake pop. So we want to fill our cake pop hearts with our paste. But first we want to start out with some Pam or some olive oil spray, something you want to spray down the inside of your cookie cutters. And it's okay to get it onto the wax paper or parchment. That'll keep it from sticking there too. There you go. And then you want to take some of your paste and fill your cookie cutters. And you want to keep pressing it down in and fill it as best you can. Now, if you want to make these a little more kid-friendly, you can always make a simple syrup with the alcohol flavors. And I'll include a video at the end that shows the decadent chocolate cake, shows how to make a simple syrup. And that burns all the alcohol off. When they're completely full, you want to go ahead and slide them off. These are not the very best cookie cutters for it, but they're great for showing up on camera. Cookie cutters without a lip are better. There you go. Next we want to put our stick in some melted candy melts with some shortening in it to thin it. I'll put the video at the end to the other cake pops to show how to do that. We want to put a little bit of the chocolate on it to secure it and then put it towards the base of your cake pop here. When you put those in the freezer, that will create some stability. If you put it towards the base, it doesn't ruin the tip on the top. So there we go. And we want to put those in the freezer for about an hour. So while our cake pops are in the freezer, freezing down, I have a bag filled with some white chocolate and just a little tip cut off the end. And I have made some hearts. You have to be careful, your bag's kind of warm. And you want to make a lot of these because white chocolate's a little bit harder to handle than icing or royal. So you want to make a lot of them so that you can get the right size. You can make some abstract ones, and you can see I've made some little tiny ones here, and we'll use those to decorate our cake pops after. These can go in the fridge for even 5 minutes, or just let them sit for half an hour and they'll be plenty cool enough to use. So our cake pops have frozen down for a while, so next we're going to go ahead and dip them in the thin down chocolate. Again, this is thinned with some shortening to make it thin enough to dip. You want to make sure the whole thing gets covered. And it's thinned enough that it's probably going to need to be dipped twice. We're on our second dip each. These need 2 to maybe 3 dips. And you want to let the chocolate drip off as much as possible so you don't get a puddle underneath of them. And you can set them down in sprinkles if you want to, or just let them be plain. You can also drizzle with a second color. Let that blend together. Let the excess drizzle off. So I've let these harden. You can see the chocolate's hard. This one I dipped the back in some sprinkles just for a variation. Now we want to use our chocolate hearts that we made earlier. So we just want to slip them off, get just the tiniest bit of chocolate to stick them on with. And I'm going to stick that there. And find another one. Just get a little bit of chocolate on the back and stick it there. Maybe a couple of these little ones. There and there. You can do whatever you want with these. These are a lot of fun. You'll have a lot of them left over, so you need to find something else to do with them. But they're a pretty little accent. And there you go. There are your decorated cake pops. I hope you enjoyed learning how to make these grown-up cake pops. Of course, you can make them kid style too if you want to. If you really enjoyed this episode, please subscribe and join me at theartofrosting.blogspot.com. Also join us at Facebook at The Art of Frosting. There's lots more to come. We'll see you again soon.